What's up, family? This is your boy Sugar Veliz, aka El Negro de Santana. This is episode 5, part 2 of my series, Wake Up, Motherfuckers. Alright, from what I can remember, I left off talking about Jesus and how he was invented by the Romans. So, I was at his birth and his death, which is December 25th. He was born, and he died on the Easter weekend, and he resurrected. So supposedly that's why those are holidays. But let me tell you the real reason why they call Easter Easter and why Easter is Easter. Okay? I'm going to deviate you guys a little bit. I'm going to come back to the Jesus story, okay? But this is an interesting topic. Just Easter itself. Okay. Before the days of Jesus, there was a king. His name was Nimrod. He was the father of paganism. Nimrod is also known as the sun god. Okay. Hebrews call him Baal, Malak, demon worship, human sacrifice, all that. Okay, that was Nimrod. And when he died, someone had to take over, so his wife made up the story saying that she was pregnant by Nimrod's son. So pretty much the Virgin Mary story. Her name was Semiramis. Semiramis got pregnant, had her kid on December 25th. Okay? And that was the way that she stayed in power. And when her kid came, Tammuz, they were calling him the son of God, the son of Nimrod. December 25th. And then when he got killed by some pigs, some wild pigs, she made up the story that her son became fertile land for their people, right? So they started worshiping her as a goddess. Okay? Semiramis, aka Madonna, aka Ishtar, aka Semiramis, aka the whore of Babylon. Those were her aliases. And to celebrate those days, on Easter, they have a big ass orgy. Everybody comes to the temple, has an orgy with the females that's laying there, or the females that are laying there. And the whole point is to impregnate them, because that seed that is in them is supposed to be born in December. Okay? So when they're born in December, that baby that was made out of that orgy is a blood sacrifice. So they kill it and they sacrifice it. Why you think they sell those little pieces of bread with the cross on it? On Easter, the eggs are representing fertility, because she was the goddess of fertility. And they would dip the eggs in blood, pretty much dipping the babies in blood. Okay, so that's where you get Easter from. Ishtar, Semiramis, Easter, Ishtar. But anyways, let me get back to subject. Well, I was talking about Jesus, correct? And how the Romans invented him. Well, the only way that the Romans could control the Jews was through religion, because they were not going to bow down to Caesar. So when they started believing this story and they started making fun of it, if you put the story of of Caesar, the Caesar that was, it was Caesar of the Flavians, if you put those stories together with Jesus, they're so similar. Like when Jesus went to go help them catch fish, Caesar went to go help them catch fish, meaning people. Okay, so the places that are in the Bible as Jesus are the same places that the Caesar was when he was doing the conquering. So pretty much they created the Son of Man so people could worship the Son of Man. And who was the Son of Man? The Caesar. Caesar was the Son of Man. So the Caesar position right now is the Pope. The Pope is the Caesar. The position that the Pope is in was invented because of Caesar. So Caesar is the Pope. And why is the Pope so powerful? Because he's the only human that could forgive sins, which is total nonsense, but he's a holy man, which is bullshit. The Antichrist, if you ask me. But yeah, that's the story. And when you see the New Testament, or when you read the New Testament and you compare it to the Old Testament, they were fighters. You got stories of Daniel, and the lion, David and Goliath. Like, they were revolutionaries. And when the New Testament gets invented by the Flavians with Josephus' help, they made Jesus look like the biggest bitch in the world. Ain't that some shit? How is the Son of God, Jesus, gonna come over here and bow down to man with his powers? So they twisted everything. For example, in the New Testament it tells you, give Caesar what is to Caesar, meaning the taxes. What kind of shit is that? If they hit you on one cheek, turn the other cheek. Ain't that some bullshit? In the Old Testament, they tell you, if he takes your fucking arm off, you take the other arm off. Okay? So the New Testament, it was so disrespectful and such a big lie that kept the Jews and the world in order, in other words. But yeah, Jesus was invented by the Flavians. Sorry to tell you guys that. But the Pope is Caesar. We're still under Roman rule. The courts, everything, religion is all controlled by Rome, the Vatican. Okay, so I'm sorry for those that get offended, but you should go do your research and not go with what the Europeans came to teach our ancestors. Because when Christopher Columbus came, the year before Christopher Columbus came, they painted Jesus' face white, because that was the image that was going to be imprinted in our minds, to worship a white Jesus. Okay? So when the Europeans came, Christopher Columbus came, what was it, 1492? In 1491, they iconized Jesus and started painting him white. That's what the Renaissance era was. They started fucking up all the old paintings. Everything that was black, they started painting it white. So those motherfuckers were Freemasons. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael. Well, the Ninja Turtles, pretty much. They named the Ninja Turtles after these Renaissance guys. Can you believe that shit? They're just making fun of us. All the saints, they were named after Roman soldiers. Those were not Jewish names. What the saints are called. Mm-mm. But if you guys want to keep on eating that bullshit, keep on worshiping the false god, pretty much, then go ahead. The Vatican is the stir of everything. They did create this religion, and they do have the Antichrist and everything that the prophecies in the Bible it says. But there's way more to the Bible. There's only 66 books. They took off 14, 16 books, and now people are barely reading those books. Like, if you go and read the book of Enoch, that'll tell you interesting things. There's also Gospel of Judas, Gospel of Mary. There's so many. So imagine how much they're hiding from us. But no, we just want to go to church and keep on reading the same book that has been taught to us since King James, the King James Version. And that's all bullshit. They even take off key words so you guys won't know how to pray. Do you guys want to know how to pray? This is what you gotta do. You gotta demand pretty much what you want. You gotta believe it, and you gotta feel it. And once your belief matches your feeling, you get it. But you gotta do it without a doubt. When you pray for something, you gotta demand it, and you gotta know that you're gonna get it. You gotta already have it in your mind. So if you want something, already know that you have it. Already feel it, taste it. Okay? With that faith, you can move mountains. Literally. But you gotta do it without a doubt. That's what the monks do. That's what they do in other parts of the world. Rural areas that are not civilized. They're still connected. They still understand that knowledge. Us, we're fucking blinded to all that. That's all hidden knowledge, forbidden knowledge to us. They don't even want to show us how to heal ourselves. We don't need no doctors. What the fuck do we need doctors for? Animals don't have doctors. God made us perfect. We have our own doctor inside of us. Look at when you cut yourself. What happens? Don't you heal? Don't you get a scar? You heal yourself. Your body heals. Who knows you better than yourself? Who knows your body better than yourself? You don't even control your body. Your subconscious is. You'll probably only control like 5% of your body, but you don't know where your blood is going or where your blood comes from or how to pump it to the different arteries and the different parts of your body. You don't know why your leg is moving and all the ligaments that are going with it. Like, you don't know that. You just do it subconsciously because that's what you trained yourself to do it. But you do not understand your body. You don't understand your second brain. So once you get to know yourself, you could do a lot of things. You know, there's like 700 trillion watts going through our body right now. 700 trillion watts. Could you even imagine that? Because every single cell in your body is 1 volt of electricity. So that's how perfect the body is. Look at all the electricity that we're holding inside. And we're not combusting in fucking flames and shit everywhere. If you don't believe me, go look it up.